I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThatUmbrellaGuy. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
I deleted my heart, and I really want it back. I don't want to feel like I might be a sociopath. I deleted my heart. I was young and impulsive, and I would download another, but I'm afraid it wouldn't fit. I deleted my heart. 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 I deleted my heart.
All right, my lovely, lovely people. How is it going? I love you all, by the way. Man, thank you, Fallen Hero, for the gifted membership, by the way. Love you, folks. I do, man. I really do love you, folks. I feel like a hippie sometimes. What's up? Love you, man. No, but I do. I love you, folks. Carol Austin, thank you for the gifted membership, too. That is awesome. And also, Gotcha Son. What's up? Thank you for those 5 gifted memberships. Love you, too. And Rebel Bird, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for your membership, Rebel Bird, and your patronage and being here. Thank you. You're here a lot. Appreciate you. Welcome to Taste Things. Now, I want to show you something funny first before we start. I want to show you 2 things, and then we're going to get started up. One thing is, now when you look at this, so I've been working out, I've been walking more. I've been talking about that. I think it's nice and encouraging. Did you know that mainstream media right now, by the way, is saying that if you work out and you get in shape, that's actually proving that you're a racist? I kid you not. I'll show you the article on that in just a second too. I thought that was crazy, but check this out. Here's the wonderful depiction. Look at that, baby. Oh man, that is so good. Look at that stellar bod. Like it says there too. Man, you don't need a permit to own these guns. Oh my God, that's so great. Actually, this is funny. So like I said, I've been walking a lot. I walked this morning. I walked 4 miles before work. I don't keep. I have a pedometer, but I don't keep it on all day. I just keep it on when I'm walking, and I put in like 10,000 steps or 4 miles plus this morning. But one of the things I was talking to this guy that I work out with, he's been helping me set up some kind of structure to getting in shape. And one of the things he was like, "Oh, so you found a place to walk that's flat, right?" And I was like, "Flat? Well, was I supposed to do that?" It looks like my driveway. Like I have a large area to go back and forth through. In fact, I can just keep going back and forth through there. But the problem is the incline on it is a 7 to a 10. I mean, it's like going slaloming sometimes. I didn't realize I was supposed to be walking on flat ground. What's up, Denise Clark, Custom Art? Appreciate you. Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships too. Woo! It's raining memberships. Hallelujah. I appreciate that for sure. I'm in a good mood today. I'm in a very good mood. We do have a serious topic today to talk about, but I want to have fun with it first. Now, I do want to show you that. I mean, seriously, like no joke. If you do anything good for yourself, if you actually take care of yourself in any way, I mean, the mainstream, they attack you. It's the craziest thing. They would have you sitting around out of shape, hating yourself, hating your life. That's okay. You're totally fine there. But if you start getting in shape, I kid you not. Look at this here. 1 second. I mean, these are actual articles. Like I said, this is not a troll. This is freaking MSNBC talking about the far right's obsession with fitness. It's going digital. And they're saying, beer bug fitness trends, that's about white supremacy and hypermasculinity. So I kid you not. You decide, hey, I don't want to feel like crap anymore. I want to take care of myself. I want to be happier. I want to feel healthier. You're a racist. That's that's nuts. That is absolutely no, but that's the mainstream these days. Again, they want you complacent. They want you sitting around. They want cattle. And there are a lot of people willing to go, and for real. I mean, if you're out of shape, okay, I'm out of shape. So here's the thing though, and this sticks with me. I want you to hear. I want you to hear something very motivational, okay? You ready for this? So there's a movie called The Edge. I don't know if you've ever seen it. If you haven't, watch it. It's a good movie. Anthony Hopkins, Alec Baldwin before he got crazier and crazier. It was back in the 90s, But it's about people who end up getting stranded in the woods, essentially. Bear trying to kill them. It's got those two, and I can't remember the name. I always mess his name up. But the guy from Fear, the main guy in it, and also the guy from Lost, Michael. Yeah. So I want to read you this. Let me catch you these two. Victoria, thanks for the 9 months. Love you too. Hey, love back to you. Appreciate you. And Real Baby, thanks for the 10. Great job with the morning walk. Thank you. Very inspiring. Do your incline walking too. It'll make your butt sexier. That's where I'm going, man. It's all incline walking, just to be honest. That's all it is. Incline walking. I haven't been, like stair stepping it. It's like out in the wild doing it. But okay. So The Edge, there's a statement in there they keep making over and over again when they get trapped in the woods. It's their motivational thing. How do most people die in the woods? They die of shame. Now, they reference a book in that. And the book, interestingly enough, is real. And if you think about this, this actually makes quite a bit of sense. We're not talking about the physical elements that end up ending people. We're talking about the thing that demotivates and keeps you trapped and walking this endless spiral. It's the mental game to it. People die of shame in the wilds because they can't stop the judgment about how they got lost. And instead of sitting still and being mindful of where they actually are and where they've been, shame spins them in a circle where they wish they were. Shame keeps them from finding the way out. I was like, Now, of course, technology may keep you from finding your way out too, lack of a compass, whatever. But in reality, a lot of people don't even try. They sit there and they focus. And that thing, I find that motivational in all things. Oh, I could get a Coke. I've been drinking one Coke in a day. The amount of energy, though, is crazy. I never thought, like, when you do, like, just the amount of energy. Okay, one other thing, and then we'll get on topic, okay? I've been doing a project here, and it's been kind of fun. I talked about this in live streams. If you want to join in this project, I think it's a fun one. It's something that we can all do together, okay? So I've been, 1 second here. I've been putting together a wonderful little garden. A cactus garden. Now you'll notice I just got 2 totem cactuses. These things are cool. I've never seen them before. Props to who sent them to me. Appreciate the heck out of it. I do, for real. I very much appreciate that. I always wanted I wanted a totem cactus, but my daughter the other day. So we got a bunch of cactuses, bunch of them. People have sent about 7 for this thing, and we can get a lot more. But you can see them. Like, look at all of them lining up. I was trying to get the newer ones in here, but you can see them all. Look at all those, man. I mean, they're everywhere, right? So what I thought would be a cool visual is like my daughter was talking about how live stream wise, people are everywhere around the world, and we are positioned everywhere around the world. And I like, she was talking about wouldn't it be cool well, in live streams, it is cool to be able to see people. Wouldn't it be cool to see them in, a different way? Now, we raise we end up with a lot of plants because they're abandoned or whatever. I've talked about that before. I have friends that clean out buildings. They end up with stuff like that. But people, if you have like cactus or something in your area, like take a trimming from it, send it down. Let's put it in a pot. We put your region on it. Like I said, we've already had 7 of those so far. And yeah, we'll put your region on it, like I said, and name it if you want. It can be your forever shout out, It doesn't matter if we get 30 of the same freaking thing either. Just like I said, if you want to do that, it's fun. I'm going to put in the PO box. You can just send a clipping to the PO box, and like I said, it's a plant clipping. It's not a big deal. If you want to play. You don't necessarily have to have one. You can go get you a clipping or just whatever. I think it'd be fun. You don't have cactus in the UK. Actually, there are types of cactus. They're not specific. Okay. When we think cactus, if you look them up, like the type of succulents, the brand, or not the brand, I said brand, the type of plant, the brand of plant. What the heck? My daughter, I say that a lot. My little daughter, she's 3. When you say something to her, you're like, did you leave the potty lid open? She'll be like, what the heck? It's so funny. Oh, by the way, been potty training her, right? So that's what made me late today. So been potty training her. And we got her we have a potty downstairs. We have upstairs. We need a little potty up there too, so she could use both. So she was like, right before it, she was like, Dad, I got a potty now. I was like, oh man. I was like, oh man, right now, you got to go like right this second. She's like, gotta go, Dad, gotta go right now. So anyway, put it together and stuff. And it's funny, it's got a sound deck built into it. It's got like a little flushing sound and then applause. So after she went to potty, she flushed it, and then she's so proud of herself, which good, she's learning that, but she kept repeating the applause. I was like, that's hilarious. Yay, good job. That's the greatest thing ever. Super Panda, thanks to JD's favorite word, species. Is that true? Diana, thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs Thugs. Hey, I heard a funny story about JD. I'll tell you in just a second. This is like a story somebody told me. You want to hear a funny thing about like JD? Something that I don't know a lot of people know. Well, you may know this, but I mean, this is just something I thought was interesting. Rosemary, thanks for the 5. Our oldest daughter has quite a bright young mind. Her interest in podcasting is pretty impressive. Oh, well, my kids have grown up around this idea of the computer. They've grown up around all of this, so, I mean, that's the thing. Like they've grown up. I think my daughter was 3 when the oldest, when I started doing this all the time. And the littlest one has always been around it. So, but yeah, here's a JD story. So when JD talks about Hunter S. Thompson, Hunter S. Thompson, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Yeah, when he talks about Hunter S. Thompson, he, the voice of Hunter S. Thompson that he uses, in Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, that voice that he does. I'm sure most of you have probably seen that movie by now. Well, that voice that he does as his main character. Apparently, when he talks about Hunter S. Thompson, like if he's still regaling you with a story about the guy, apparently he talks in that voice. Apparently that's like he uses it. I was like, that would be really cool, actually. So I thought that was a cool little thing to hear about it. Not that, when he's just mentioning, but when he starts talking about an actual story from Hunter S. Thompson, that's the Hunter S. Thompson voice that he uses. Like I said, I think that's kind of cool. You can imagine that, like sitting down and basically the Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas voice, it kicks on. Yeah, this is Backcountry. Exactly. Fear and Loathing is a screwed up movie. It's supposed to be. If you've ever read any of the actual Gonzo, so there are a lot of frauds these days that want to play the Gonzo journalist part. They want to pretend that they're like a Hunter S. Thompson. They're like those writers back when. But those writers back when, whoo, man, they were substance addled. They were rebelling against a system that hated them. It's not like the system now. I mean, it's nuts. If you sit down, I tell you, you want to read some crazy stuff, read some William Burroughs. Lord, that man. He's the guy that famously, again, this is not an endorsement. This is just a quote there. He was like, heroin is a vitamin. I mean, it was like, wow. He's a trip, though. He's an absolute trip. Okay, so I'm sure that by now you have probably heard about all of this stuff that is going on with Jonah Hill. I mean, have any of you not heard about what's going on with him? Just curious. Have any of you not caught part of that? Because there's been a lot of discussion about the Jonah Hill stuff. I'm waiting for the chat here. Heard a little of it. You haven't? Okay. So Jonah Hill. Okay. This is nuts. All right. And it's so divisive right now. So Jonah Hill had a girlfriend, Sarah Brady. Sarah Brady, he and her were together they were together 2 years ago. Right. And all of a sudden, after Jonah Hill's girlfriend just delivered a baby, Sarah Brady decided to leak a bunch of messages between them. Messages that at first glance, a lot of people were like, whoa, what the heck? Now, this is going to tie in to the theme of Accuser, everything with that. Okay. So you can see here, okay. Now, when you read this, you can tell there's something going on with it too. Plain and simple. If you need surfing with men, boundaryless, inappropriate relationships with men, to model, to post pictures of yourself in your bathing suit, to post sexual pictures, friendship with women who are in unstable places, and from your wild recent past beyond lunch or coffee or something respectful, I might not be the right partner for you. If these things bring you a place of happiness, I support it, and there will be no hard feelings. These are my boundaries for romantic partnership. My boundaries with you based on the ways these actions have hurt our trust. Now, this and other items were leaked. Again, you can see when these are from. We're talking about 2021. They just pop up. She's come out, called him a misogynist, a controlling monster, all kinds of other things. Well, you're finding out now that these are actually therapy exercises. Now, in therapy, okay, first of all, I'm just going to say this: if you're a couple within a year of relationship and you've already got to go to, you're not married or anything, you're just dating, and you have to go to therapy right off the bat, you have some issues. Like, there are issues that probably say maybe you need to turn the page. But there's something else in that. Okay. All of this leaked, and people were like, oh my God, what a controlling monster. And you can think that if you want. But here's the thing: like, first of all, if you go to therapy and somebody talks about making lists, noting issues, saying what your boundaries are, and you note them, no matter how, especially like when you've gotten to that point, you have trust issues. You have major trust issues. Something led you there. And when you get to that point, you can either be dishonest, continue to try to move forward, which that'll break the relationship right away, or you can be honest with it. And unfortunately, that will weaponize. Now, we found out what's interesting: this does not get any coverage. In fact, it didn't at first, but it's crazy how this is getting coverage now. So we found out from later messages that leaked that this was actually therapy exercises. You can see this listed in some of the communications that ended up getting thrown out there. We legit were in couples therapy, negotiating a list. I was basically saying I needed to be able to have the freedom to do in order for me to stay in a relationship. So you can see this is a therapy exercise. Now, kids, I mean, it doesn't even matter that's a therapy exercise right now. Like, first, when I looked at it, I thought, well, that's kind of strange. That looks like a relationship building exercise. Now, there are problems in putting together when your therapist ask you to do something. Normally they do it in a scripted way, telling them to communicate. It's just like the JD stuff. It drove me kind of bonkers to see the outside exercises because they weren't crafted in a suitable way. You have people communicating back and forth with text or sitting down, recording each other. That's not how you should do it. You need to have somebody that helps you put things together. But apparently, many of these Hollywood therapists are damn hacks, and they get paid quite a bit of money, like quite a bit of money. So, looking at this though, and again, you can see like the statements with, my boundaries for a romantic partnership. When you have that, actions before have hurt our trust. I mean, you can see that's an issue. But what's fascinating, even after it's been noted that here, even if after that's been noted as the case, that it is therapy exercises, places like CNN, look at this. I want you to see this spin to it. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. So here's the Jonah Hill article. Opinion: Jonah Hill's misappropriation of popular therapy speak. The fucking dude is in therapy. You're not appropriating therapy speak. You're having somebody pour it into your head, and you're trying these relationship building exercises. And again, if you've already gone off the rail, I'm just going to say, if you've gone off the rail in the first year, you're not going to hear this in a office. But since we're outside of the office and we're just being honest and forthright here, right? We're not talking about. I'm telling you this as a mental health professional, okay? If you've gone off the rails, you're not married, you don't have any kids there, it's already messing up in the first year, it's not going to work. It's already broken. There is something inherently wrong there. If you've lost the trust within the first year, your relationship is over. if you have to set down boundaries that reestablish trust to that degree, you have some real problems. And they go beyond just, again, hey, what's up, Manic Mouse? Like for the 15 months, can't stay working. Listen, glad your totem cactuses, they did arrive. I love them. Thank you, Manic Malice. I'm going to call one Manic and one Malice, by the way. Love you, Tug. Lola, Tug, let's chat. I'm going to name them that way. But yeah, I mean, I think that's just boundary setting too. It's respecting yourself. You know, this whole conversation has become about coercive control. That's what people are calling this. This is him trying to take away everything. The thing was, though, the relationship wasn't originally like that. And you know, every time the goalpost moves and people talk about what happened in the relationship, it changes and morphs, but that goalpost of what they say happened, oh, well, it wasn't coercive control. He tricked her into the relationship, and then he wanted her to change everything. And it's like, no, you have some violation. Again, not blaming anyone in that, because we don't know what happened, but something. Now, there are texts that talk about her like kissing another man. It could be friendly. It could be anything. He could be a jealous. He was extremely overweight. He ends up with he's rich because of Hollywood, and that he gets a lot of access there. Maybe that makes him. Who knows? Who knows exactly? But whatever the reason there, like this is what I don't understand with people. And I really hate this I hate this especially in today's society. We tell men that we need them to go to therapy. We need them to be honest, communicate. But if there's an honest communication saying, hey, these things are a problem after our violation of trust, this is what it's going to take. And 2 years later, now the Jonah Hill thing, he just had a baby. Like I said, or he didn't have a baby. You know what I mean? He just became a father. All of this is aimed at damaging that relationship and potentially removing his ability to be a father. Now, why would anybody lay themselves bare knowing that in a few years, all of this shit just ends up public? Again, these are therapy exercises, for fuck's sake. And they basically are used to torpedo, and then it gets worse. This goes into what I was saying. So you have Hill accused by, give me a second. I have to pull this up. So Alexis Nicholas, I don't even know who the fuck that is. Maybe I'm too old for that. I don't know exactly. I'm not sure exactly who she is. But this person, a person who has called out many a person, has put them on blast, gone after them and more, has gone in and accused Jonah Hill. 1 second. Now it's strange because we're talking about a person that it is possible that life is crazy, right? But she comes out with a claim that cannot be authenticated. There is no way. And it's the worst type of shit that you can aim at somebody. Just out of the blue. And this is picked up by the media. This is a big AH backer, by the way. Like I said, this is one of those celebs that went out there. Yeah, she's saying, well, damn it. I keep putting on the wrong article. My bad. Give me 1 second. She keeps saying, oh, it was BuzzFeed. No wonder. Like it has a different title. I was like, what in the hell? It's because it's BuzzFeed. My bad. Here it is. Okay. This is what I wanted. Sorry. Zoe 101. I don't know what Zoe 101 is, by the way. Again, maybe this is not my forte or my cup of tea. I'm not really sure. But she comes out and says that when she was 16, that Jonah Hill was at a party and forcibly kissed her at a party. Now, you cannot prove or disprove this. This is the poison with accusations like this. Now, this person is also a multiple serial accuser. I mean, she is accused. She has accused. Let's see. The first, the show that she was on, she accused the person that ran it of essentially being a little too interested in young girls. Let's just say it that way. Then, and again, it's Hollywood. Who knows? Most of those people are really creepy and scary anyway. But on top of that, you also have, she came out with she went after her ex. I'll show you the articles on that. She actually went after her ex-husband, saying that he, quote, I'm going to quote this, right? Preyed on her as a minor, groomed her, sexually manipulated her, or sexually assaulted and manipulated her into marrying. She's also made other accusations. She went after Jamie Lynn Spears and Britney Spears as well. Apparently, her and Britney Spears got. I mean, it's like there are more accusations too. And on top of that, she's gone after a number of people about normalizing behavior. She went after Justin Long, Seth MacFarlane, all about these statements here. I mean, she's basically come out dropping all of these names on it. And I mean, it's just, and of course, the applause, they come up. It doesn't take any proof because there can't be, you could have some proof. Also, if you really want to feel for how manipulative this stuff is, okay, there are a million pictures of Jonah Hill out there, but to make sure that you make him a predator right now, look at what kind of a shirt that he's wearing, huh? They went out, they tried to make sure that they sent. It's just like the same thing that they did with Adep. The association with the accused. Oh my God, he's wearing a Marilyn Manson shirt. He must be guilty. That's the message out of everything. They went in and made sure that they put this together. I mean, it's absolutely unreal. I mean, that's why that's there. That's supposed to convey, oh my God, like, there aren't a billion freaking Marilyn Manson shirts out there. Well, I was like, yeah, they're telegraphing that one for sure. Yeah, what was a 16-year-old doing at an adult party? Well, that's actually a good question. And she's not just, the thing is, she's not throwing just like him under the bus. She's making sure, anybody else. So give me 1 second. Now I'm going to pull up the BuzzFeed article that actually it is the article with that shirt. My bad. I thought I was on the wrong article for a damn second. I hate BuzzFeed, but they do at least cover this with some pictures. Jonah is yet to publicly comment, but you have a former child star. Apparently, I love how by the way, you notice that somebody that starts that, you notice they always are perpetually children. Britney Spears, I'll hear this. Britney Spears, she was really young when all of her career. So people will call her a former child star. And I'm like, she's not a kid anymore. Why don't we just call her Britney Spears? I mean, everybody knows who fucking Britney Spears is, right? We don't have to be like former child star. You can put like her name and that, but that's telegraphing something in some like this. There's a point to doing that. Even though we're talking about, somebody that's an adult now, you got to make sure that you telegraph that, well, child star, because again, type of accusation. So she moved among those to discuss her posts on social media. In case you didn't know, by the way, she starred in acting at 7. I don't know who the hell she is. Again, she's part of Zoe 101. She she famously clashed with her co-star, Jamie Lynn Spears. Yes, that is very, apparently that was big drama, like I said. How do I say this? Like this would be, I always like one thing that Andy from Popcorn Planet can do. He can fake being excited about the things he hates. He can always be like, "Oh, Zoe 101." And me, I'm like, I don't give a fuck about that. I don't even know what that is. I wish I could do that. I mean, props to him. He can make it sound like, yeah, this is important. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck who they are. I love it though. I do. Props to him for that stuff, man. Props to people who can do that. They can be like, I love everything that is there. I really do. I wish I could do that. But at least I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I don't care. So anyway, she later spoke out against the network for failing to protect her from abuse, saying that she did not feel safe around the show's controversial creator, Dan Schneider. She has since launched the Eat Predators movement, which is described as activism against predatory behavior in the entertainment industry. So again, this is now her calling card, by the way. Her calling card, it is Nickelodeon didn't protect me. She said, I have no idea about that, by the way. I don't know Dan Schneider. I don't know the background of that. I'm not commenting on it in any way, shape, or form. I just know when you have a serial accuser and they become some people become addicted to the applause, because that is who, once you lose that show from back when, where do you go from there? How many people can move on? Most people can't. Most child stars, they're child stars for a point, for a purpose, because they never go anywhere else. So again, yeah, but at the same time, it's fascinating that's here. Husband, Jonah Hill, other folks, plus all the drama class. I mean, it's like, wow, I don't get Hollywood. Hollywood is just horrible. And again, I'm not saying that stuff can't happen. Multiple things that are terrible can't happen to people. I'm not saying that either. It sends up a bunch of red flags when there's things that you can't ever prove. And I do very well believe that there is a certain type of playground enthusiast that is definitely prevalent in Hollywood. They're everywhere. So when people say, yeah, yeah, they are everywhere. They are. They're everywhere anyway, but they are definitely everywhere in Hollywood, and they're protected there too. So, again, I'm not even trying to pretend that that's not real. Acid Kick 96, thanks for the buck and the. I thought they're trees. I thought they were cactuses for a second. We're gonna have to change Pickle U to Cactus U. No, I'm just kidding. We're still giving the pickles. Tom Holland making a good decision getting out of there. Yeah, and Hollywood actually, for real, there is something inherently broken in Hollywood. When you look at how many cults spring up around Hollywood, first of all, Scientology, the NXIVM, that thing, that's crazy. When you look at some of the people, they were at the top of their game. They end up getting looped into a cult where some of them, of course, are blackmailed into it. I mean, that's just a mess, branding people, all kinds of craziness. But some of the big names that were associated with it, that were actually tried and true believers in it, it's kind of crazy to see who they were. And that's not necessarily an indictment of who they are. Sometimes that's an indictment of who Hollywood or what Hollywood is. So anyway, posting on her Twitter account after seeing Sarah's story, she praised the surfer for speaking out. What the hell? She then went to claim that she had a troubling encounter with Jonah when she was just 16 years old. She claimed that Jonah was 24 at the time, and they had met at a house party that Justin Long, so he gets thrown in there, hosted with his then roommate, who was also an actor. Alexa alleged, I said, so I got an Amazon tablet the other day, and right when I said Alexa, every time I say it, it's got an onboard Alexa, and it keeps coming on. I'm like, no, No, stop it. I'm gonna call her A or something. This stupid thing. It keeps coming on over here. Thanks for the 5. They lost AH as a representative. She's the new one. Maybe that's how it works. I mean, again, and these are things like, the nastiness to this is the party could be real. I mean, anything could be in that. The situation, that might not even be real, though. You never know. You're just supposed to take it as gospel. I don't trust, let me just be fucking clear these days. I don't trust people who point their fingers at other people and burn their lives down. I don't trust them anymore. People have taken it away, and it's unfortunate. In a therapy setting, I would be your advocate. If you and I needed to go through that, I would go to hell and back for you. Because that is your advocate. But in the real world, outside of the therapeutic setting, if you're going to burn someone's life down, if you're going to set them ablaze, it's so crazy. It's how easy it is. And, when you think about this, on both sides of it, it's a jacked up situation. Because, again, with the accusation, if it happened that it's jacked up because people aren't going to believe you. Thank some of these high profile cases. Thank them for that. But on the other side of that, if you can't, here's the problem. If we were talking about a criminal issue, which this would be a criminal issue if somebody is a minor and you're sitting there, doing, I guess they would be in California. I think the age of consent in California is 18. Is that not correct? Or did they change? I don't know. I don't live there. But, I mean, that would be criminal. It's criminal accusation if it is. I mean, that's big time. Plus, it can be career ender. This would have definitely been, if we were talking about 2 years prior, or hell, even before that, if we're talking about 2017, 2018, and this situation broke loose just like this is a career killer. It could still damage you. And again, you're talking about a person that, as far as Jonah Hill is concerned, he's a brand new father. Being a brand new father is work. Let me tell you, I've been there twice. It is work. It is something. And one of the terrible aspects these days is that somebody, with a situation like this, they may try to lock you out of the relationship with your kid. So, Sandra, thanks for 10. Ever since AH, I trust women actresses less and less. These are their 3 options. Everyone in Hollywood are abusers, and it's true. They want attention, or they're mentally unstable. Yeah, it's a nasty predicament. I would love a world where I could trust everybody, but you know what? That utopia is never going to exist. And anybody, again, listen and believe is so cancerous. Because it eats away. It is just like it is for real. It is legitly like disease cells. It eats away at the foundations of trust. And it also, it promotes this lie that no one actually believes. No one truly believes that everyone tells the truth. That especially like the way that's supposed to go, believe all women. No one believes that. If they thought no one would lie, if they're not dishonest, again, there's a very good exercise. One of these celebrities there with a lot of money, they could invite 5,000 random women, 10,000, let's go 10,000 random women into a shared internet space. And they could drop their banking information in there. Because everybody that's trustworthy would never take advantage of you. But interestingly, in life, we lock our doors, we take precautions from all types of freaking malfeasance, but we pretend that people are trustworthy. And it's a lie. It's an absolute lie, and we all know it. Sin, thanks for 6 months. Y'all, if I can say it, have a nice Wednesday. Thank you. Thank you. I hate the written form of y'all, by the way. I don't know if I've been on that rant in a while. It's been co-opted. I'll go on that rant a little bit later. Jessica Hull, thanks for the 20 there. From a point of logic, you'll get to a point of truth. Plato. That's true. Very true. Cheryl, thank you for the 5. No statement, but plenty of statement there. Oh, you're bringing that back to me? Thank you. Oh, don't play that horrible song. First of all, it's probably copyrighted. So my daughter loves the Rainbow Friends. They are a Roblox. Yes, they are a Roblox offshoot, right? So here, let me take this off. I'll put this back up. Yeah, hey, I'm going to explain this real fast. Hey, I'm in the middle of a live stream. You want to help me explain this real quick? What? Okay, so there are 7 rainbow friends. Yeah, there's 7 rainbow friends. They market well. So they have a theme song, like a song that somebody made. Now, how does the middle of that song go? Rainbow, 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 rainbow friends. It keeps going. That's a different song by somebody else. It keeps going. Rainbow, 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 rainbow friends, rainbow. I was like, oh no, it's driving me insane. That's what I like to do to you guys. Oh Lord, it's terrible. I like rainbow, 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 rainbow. Oh no, both of you. Don't even go there. Here, look. Oh, here, y'all go upstairs though. Hey, y'all need to go upstairs though, so I can finish my live stream. Go upstairs. Hey, you gotta go upstairs. Your yogurt's in the fridge too. Okay, I got to finish my live stream. Corn if you go upstairs. Oh, I gotta get some corn. Oh, Carol, thank you for the 5. Oh man, hey, there's a $5 one for your candy fund. Candy fund? Candy fund. They heard the other day. They're crazy. Do you want some corn? All right, hey, y'all go upstairs, okay? Rainbow friends to them. No, y'all go upstairs for a minute, okay? I gotta finish this. This is adult content talk. We're talking about something that's not. It's not appropriate. They are out of control this moment. 1 second, I'll be right back. Oh my goodness, man. They've gone. You're coming with me? Dad, can I have a soda? Y'all can. Yeah, you can have some too, but go upstairs. There's some upstairs during the. Well, you gotta go upstairs though. Take it up. You can have some too, Audio. Okay. You can't. There you go. I'm gonna catch you. All right, there they go. They were raiding. That's what it was. All right, here we go. They love it. It's not that they. So today, or yesterday, we bought. My daughter loves creating stuff, and the little one likes destroying stuff, but the oldest loves creating stuff. So she just got a kid's pottery wheel. It's like an activity set, which is kind of cool. So they've been doing that, and I think they just ran out of clay. So they were like, "Oh, I'm going to come back down here." All right. So anyway, back to the conversation. I have to pull the conversation when they're, all over. All right. So as far as the accusation to all of this, the claim again, Justin Long's hosting a party. I'm glad they put the picture so everybody knows who you're talking about. Jonah Hill is there, along with everyone else. And she alleged that the roommate assaulted her friend, who was 16 or 17 years old at the party. She then added, quote, anyways, so he was sleeping, a.k.a. assaulting a minor, a friend of mine that was also 16 or 17. So there's just a random, I don't even know who the roommate is, but the roommate has also been accused. So this is just an accusation. So the accusation is thrown at all of the people that are there. It's thrown at the people who run the party. It's thrown at a roommate. It's thrown at Jonah. Again, you see how they're drawing this up. Anyway, so Jonah Hill came over at some point, and we were all pretty much wasted because, of course, the predators were feeding us minors a bunch of alcohol. So Jonah Hill seemed to have his eyes on me because at one point I wanted a cig, and he said he had one in his car, quote unquote, right outside. Didn't seem like too much of an effort, so I trusted him. I went outside, he grabbed the cigs from the front seat, and Jonah Hill didn't hand me the cigs, which I thought was weird. And then as we walked back to the door, I asked him for it. He said nothing, but he slammed me to the door and shoved his tongue down my throat. I was so appalled, I pushed him off of me and I ran inside. And then, of course, the accusation is 1624, not okay. She then clarified, just a note, Jonah Hill said, if I wanted the cig, I had to come with him outside to get it. He didn't want to go all alone. They were all aware I was 16. What the hell are you doing? I mean, is this how Hollywood is? I know, first of all, I know when I was a minor, I would want to, get free whatever alcohol and stuff I get. Actually, as a minor, let me take that back. As a minor, I knew my parent would not be happy and would probably kick the holy hell out of me if I did that. So I would not have been at that party. If I had a more absentee parent, perhaps, if I didn't grow up in a time where, we wouldn't have had a talk, we'd have had a real problem. Yeah. But this is the type of predatory behavior that was hyper normalized when I was a kid. I'm proud to see women standing up to abusive men now. Badass. Also, Justin Long. You notice Justin Long's thrown in here too. Why the fuck did you have children at your house late night? Ooh. Hey, Justin Long, I find it interesting you being in Barbarian as a predator. So he is in a movie. By the way, if you haven't, I believe, wasn't Justin Long accused of something recently too, right before the movie Barbarian came out? Justin Long accusation. I keep thinking there was an accusation about him. There was another one. I can't remember. I mean, it's been a hot minute, but I keep thinking there was another accusation. Now, right now, it's kind of hard to get past the 57 million articles that are about Justin Long in this situation. But I keep thinking there was an accusation that was levied against him during that time. Like I said, I can't remember whether or not they were there. Hope not 11. Well, accusation doesn't mean anything. I mean, that's the problem. You can't disprove this stuff. Again, there is a weird culture in Hollywood for sure, too. There very well is. If I look at Corey Feldman, Corey Haim, that situation there was something wrong. And actually, interviews with different people. There was an interview with Mel Gibson. Hate Mel Gibson all you want. I know a lot of people don't like him because of a lot of stuff that's happened with him, a lot of statements in the past. But there's an interview with Mel Gibson when he was talking about, I can't remember that movie. Was it called Conspiracy? I can't remember. It was like the conspiracy movie one. But he was talking about Hollywood secrets and not believing what Hollywood really was. When you come in contact with some of the stuff, you'd be like, that's very, that's very weird. So it definitely exists. But anyway, it must have been weird playing some of your friends. You knew your roommate was assaulting a minor under your own roof. You let it happen. Eek. I hope you regret it now. Also, I mean, what is that? Is that her? I don't understand that picture. I was trying to I guess I don't know. Like I said, I don't know who these people are. When that's there, it like when I look at that, it looks like somebody took a picture after a tragic event, and they're trying to portray that there. She rounded off her tweet by sharing about the party by sharing, "I've been traumatized by men in Hollywood. It's truly sad for the traumatic events I've lodged in my body and mind. Things have to change, like Family Guy too." So we're going after Family Guy as well. The voice, she apparently voiced a character in 2011 episode of Family Guy when she was 18, name checking the show's creator. So she throws Seth MacFarlane in here too, just for kicks. I mean, Seth MacFarlane, he's also going to be added into the accusation day, because why not? I mean, we have Jonah Hill, we have Justin Long thrown in, and on top of that, yeah, we have this too. That's crazy. I've gotten to the point where I like just spectating, seeing what the fuck goes on. Oh, Rose, thanks for 5. Good night, everyone. Love the live stream, or enjoyed the live stream. See you next time. See ya. Have fun. So the Seth MacFarlane comes up. One day soon, after more therapy, we'll all start talking about Seth MacFarlane's utter predatory disrespect for professional boundaries. Oh, yeah, mysteriously offered the job. Never did voice work in my entire life. I was 18. He was my boss. He was 19 years older than me. I mean, you see how, again, you know, the problem with this, too, in Hollywood, this is one of the reasons that Amber Heard wanted a trial in Hollywood or in California, because of their anti-SLAPP. Now, it's really difficult to go in and clear your name there. People can pretty much say anything about you at any time, and it is very hard just to get past the free speech element, you know. And that's the really nasty part about the idea of free speech, you know, because yes, you want people to be able to say pretty much anything they need to say, but at the same time, when they start, you know, if we start screaming about how somebody's a murderer, we would see that as a problem. But calling them, if not calling them an ARPist, I will say, calling them groomers, I mean, it's such a strange thing. Plus these shows. So South Park was notorious about bringing on celebrities, you know, just throw people in random places. You'd have them everywhere. They'd be, you know, roosters or freaking a chicken or a cow or whatever. Big names, smaller names. Family Guys had plenty of freaking celebrities. Also, on top of that, they've had people that haven't really done voice work. You know, they weren't character voiceover work before. Like as a celebrity, like, again, I don't know anything about Zoe 101. I have no idea, but I guess it was big. I mean, I don't know, but if it's big enough to get there, you know, if you think it'll build up your audience, that's one of the things I love about not having guests on anything. Anybody could accuse you of anything. I mean, Jesus, I've seen some of the things that people have put my name to. I can't even imagine at that level, but my God, it is nice to have your own microphone and not have anyone else around sometimes. Joetta, thanks for the 20 there. Listen and believe should be trust but verify. An old Russian proverb often used by President Reagan. Well, one of the issues, I mean, okay, again, if you're saying something terrible happened to me in life, I mean, what's the point in even questioning that? There's not even a point to it, right? If somebody's just asking for a shoulder, if they're asking for some type of help, uplift, whatever, I mean, there's no point to having to fact check that. You know what I mean? It's kind of. But if people are pointing the finger and saying that person did X, Y, or Z to me, like, I don't like the idea of trusting that. I'm actually very skeptical about the idea. And it's a sad reality. Again, you're talking about something that, unless it was caught on video or something, you could never prove this. You could never verify the idea of, again, we've seen the idea of friend groups coming in and lying. Hell, we just finished a gigantic trial with some of the most like jacked up enablers we've ever freaking beheld. And they put together a little circle. They lied about incidents, which there was plenty of proof where it didn't transpire, but they put together a shot heard round the world. So, I mean, again, like, unless there is video proof or a confession of something, these days, I don't know how you verify anymore. Now, of course, none of them have communicated. None of them will. Well, I take that back. I'm sure we've seen Jonah Hill do denials of some of this. We've actually seen some of it in denial. But now House and Habit actually did a very thorough video of what was left out. In fact, House and Habit, when she did her video and she did a breakdown of it all, apparently that got some attention. It got some attention from she and Kat Tenbarge, funny enough. Like she actually threw some pretty some pretty damning shade Kat Tenbarge's way, which I thought was very deserved. I think Kat Tenbarge very much deserves the flaming. I mean, Kat Tenbarge. Here's the so you want to see the exchange with her and Kat Tenbarge. This was captured someone else here, but I thought this was funny. Tenbarge, you know what really annoys me about people like Kat Tenbarge? These people have done fuck all as activists. They're slacktivists. They are slacktivists. They sit online. They are perpetually plugged in. They do nothing to change the world. They do nothing. They don't know anything about this. They regurgitate quote unquote experts, many of them that are not actual field practitioners. If they are, they sit around with the richest amongst us and they just vomit up ideas that supposedly showcase the rest of us. Most of them never been down in the trenches, never actually worked with the truly needy, the truly mentally ill. They're just mouthpieces, like slacktivist mouthpieces. But since they buzzword correctly, man, they get the right stage. You know, if you got the right buzzwords these days, if you hate the right folks, of course, you're going to have that platform. What's up, beautifully? How are you doing? Seth threw Weinstein under the bus at the 2013 Oscars. Yeah. Weinstein, Weinstein was, I always hate the word an open secret. They're not really a secret. You know what I mean? It's a common piece of knowledge, but the person is above the law. Let's really call it what it is, right? I mean, there are people out there like, again, Bryan Singer is a very notable one. Bryan Singer has never been convicted of anything, but there was an enterprise at one time. That's the guy, the director of X-Men and Superman. I mean, a bunch of stuff out there. Well, Bryan Singer was part of this thing called DEN, or the Digital Entertainment Network. It was pre-YouTube. It was around 1997 to 2000, I believe. So, it was during the dot-com bubble. There was money pumped everywhere, and they had an ocean of money thrown at them. Now, during that time, there were some pretty nasty things put on photograph. They would have what they called twink parties. They would have young boys come over. They'd fill pools with them. I'm talking like 13, 14-year-old. I mean, they're again, pictures of this stuff. It's out there. Scantily clad. They were introducing copious amounts of substances. Just absolute insanity. And everyone else that was associated with DEN that was an adult. They had one kid that was one of the main people there. He, in fact, was he was their big star. And reviewers, when they saw that they were trying to be like a network, a YouTube before YouTube almost. That star, he came out with some pretty damning stuff, and courts very much backed that up. But reviewers of the show, they called it like a Silver Spoons. I don't know if you know the show. They called it a Silver Spoons for same-sex homosexual relationship, which is fine. But the problem was the way that it was filmed, it looked way too risque for that age demographic. And it was because the people that were involved there, they were all predators. They all, like many of them, they went on the run. They ended up getting caught. Everybody but Bryan Singer went to jail. And Bryan Singer's right there in the middle of it all. There have been accusations against him. Again, accusations, whatever. But I mean, there is evidence that DEN stuff is crazy. If you've never looked that up, you should look it up. Bryan Singer, DEN. It's just, it's beyond the accusation level. And again, there have been some nasty things that have happened in the past. So the guy, again, I want to make this clear when I say this. The guy who Americanized Dragon Ball Z, so it's a foreign product. It's being brought over. He was the guy who was credited with Americanization of it. So he has access to a lot of kids. He was uploading videos, and he accidentally uploaded a video that, involved, let's just say there was a very little child and a lot of adults, and it was a horrible thing, apparently. Glad I've never seen it. I saw the police record, though, and the police record was soul-crushing. I hate it for a police officer that has to sit down, watch, and tell you what's there. They do. It's like, oh my God. The synopsis is like, oh my God, I don't even want to read this. It's terrible. So this guy, they raided his home, and there were hundreds upon hundreds of items that were found in his possession. Some of them he had participated in. He went to prison for it. So he was also defended by Hollywood and all his pals, including pals in the comic book industry. So they exist. They very much exist. There is no denying any of that. It's just proving there. Again, it makes it very easy for accusation culture to thrive in that because there are so many monsters in it, too, And you notice that that's a game that people play. And I think that's very disrespectful to actual victims, too. They'll take a Roman Polanski. They'll take a Harvey Weinstein. They'll take these names, and then they'll put in a name of somebody that, again, they love putting Depp's name at that. They'll add, I'm sure Jonah Hill's name will come up in that. And it's like, wow. Because before you were talking about messages in a relationship, and suddenly the scope of this thing has changed. It's changed totally. What's up, John? Thanks for 5. Tug, love the channel. Made lots of super chats, but I hate that YouTube takes their. Ever heard of coffee? Direct donations, no fees. I've heard of it. I've never tried it out though. Should try that. I could do that. Yeah. So whatever works, I'll look into it for sure. Can you like Twitter message me or email me and just be like coffee? So I remember that. And yes, thank you for noting that too. So Cat Timbarge here, you see the quotes on it. Cat Timbarge saying, the woman, talking about House and Habit, the woman frequently made up lies about celebrities and journalists like me. They get picked up by the aggregation outlets and ranking Google News suggestions. Journalists, outlets, and her prominent followers need to recognize her as the propagandist she is. Man, talk about the pot saying something stupid. You know where I thought that was going to go, right? Hey, what's up, Clear as Mud? Thanks for the vibe. You made me smile. You made me think. Thank you. Hey, I appreciate you too. Thank you. I'm glad. Smile, laugh, especially with some of this stuff. I've never written, as House and Habit says, I've never written one thing about this. Well, there's nothing to write. Is this a trend? Young, boring reporters trash me to gain much needed attention. Cat from NBC, just give it up, or just give up. If you dedicated half your energy to your work as you do warning the public about me, you might actually come up with something unexpected, relevant, and newsworthy too. Ouch. Ouch. Ooh, painful there too. The cat from NBC, everything I published in the article last summer was true, or I would have been sued for it. One day, if you give up this fruitful attempt to cancel any journalists you don't like, you too could have made an article people argue about a year later. That's funny too. You know, they were saying, oh, well, she made up a false, thoroughly debunked trafficking narrative about AH that people still reference to this day. She defends every accused abuser in elite. Actually, how she didn't defend Amber Heard. Isn't she an accused abuser? That's just a question there. Does she not count in these folks' mind? Because she's an accused abuser. You know that. And she's a social elite. In fact, she has a lot. I mean, for her status level, she has a lot more looped in. I mean, she has the ACL freaking U in her freaking back pocket. I mean, who can say that? That's amazing. She's also anti-mask and anti the, let's just say the jab. Beautifully. Thanks for the two. Cat shouldn't write what she doesn't understand. Well, that's true. I think that's a lot with a lot of these folks. Just to be honest, I very much think that, you know? I do. I think that a lot because there are a lot of people that they talk about things that, yeah. And I mean, my God. I mean, are we still, is this the thing we're going to do for the rest of our lives? I mean, honestly, I don't care what you think about mask, not mask. I don't even want to get into that shit. I don't care. What I want to know is in 2030, is this going to be the go-to still? Oh my God, back when the beer bug, you know, we have this beautiful point. And, you know, is that true? Who knows? I didn't hear anything about that. I don't know. I haven't heard anything about that. I've heard that said about myself. I I never made I didn't make commentary on that period because you know, yeah. It's just crazy. It's crazy how it's like a laundry list of things that comes up. You'll have politics brought in. Oh, this is the way a person votes. And you have the right to vote however you want, by the way, or not vote. If you want to abstain, that is fine too. And many of you do not live in the US. So it doesn't even matter when it comes up, when people are calling each other names. You have that. You have there's always a way to accuse somebody of being the bad guy, you know. And there was a lot of people who supported Me Too as quote unquote as feminists have failed to support or even spoken against women and men who have made abuse allegations since 2017. Guess they weren't feminists after all, but rather enjoy co-opting progressivism when it's popular for pride and gain. Wow. If you don't do this anymore, you're not a good puppy. You don't deserve the head pats. That's why I say when I talk about that's why when I always talk about a progressive society, I say that I don't like the word progressive because of the people that utilize that as a label. You know, if you think that some of these labels are good labels, look at the people who attach themselves to them. That's why they become mockeries of that. That's why words like social justice warrior, SJW, became popular in its own time, because these people called themselves social justice warriors. They called themselves progressives, and they're not. They're regressive. They are very much regressive. They would take us back to a time where everyone, they would do one of two extremes. They would have everyone dressing in sackcloth, or they would have everyone signing up for things like OnlyFans, which OnlyFans, again, is probably one of the most abusive systems to women. You know, the average that women make on that is $160. There's only a few top earners there, and it's the lie. Again, if making a boundary list is manipulation, then what about a website that promises you the world if you will put out pictures exposing yourself for their gain? I mean, how is that not exploitation? But hey, what do I know, right? What do I know? I mean, these are the same people that celebrate that. They don't celebrate. Again, you do whatever you want as an adult. I don't give a shit what you do. You enjoy it. We've had nude beaches forever. We've had all kinds of stuff. You do whatever you want, but promising you a living with that's a lie. Telling you that this again, OnlyFans makes a lot of money. They make a lot of money, but the people who do that on there, they don't make as much. So anyway, but she says, nah, I think they just crave truth, unattached to gender bias, which I understand might be a very hard concept for you, really, and for a lot of folks to grasp, hence the continued flat articles. And that's very true, too. Every accusation is substantiated by the accusation. See, it's this continual loop with people like a Cat Tim Barge. They can always refer to that, and then they'll buzzword you. Again, they'll throw in everything, misogyny, incel. It tells you something. I think this is a very telling thing. Anybody in this day and age, I see people like Proudman, for example, Tin Barge, all these folks, they throw around MRA, or men's rights activists. They have made that a dirty word. When if you look at what that particular crowd of folks were saying, they were saying that we have an out of control suicide rate. If you look at men, like there is something broken there. They don't go to get mental health. They resort very quickly to extremes. They're very successful at those extremes. We need to fix that problem. I agree. That's a very true thing. We don't have places for abused men to go. Like, how many places do you really see advertised where it's not women or children? In fact, remember the guy who first tried to set one of those up? Journalists and other folks in that industry, and it is an industry, they make a lot of money out of it. There are some really good people that want to help, but there are a lot of companies that make money off of it, make lots of money off of it. You'd be shocked by how much the government actually pays per person in some of these places. Like, it's nuts. Like in the, every field is like that. You have taking care of the disabled. There was a guy that was disabled that the government paid a specific company. I'm not going to say the company, but I know this for a fact. I saw what they were paying. And every year, the government paid for this guy's care. Basically, they took him places. He didn't have a family, which is good. He needed that, of course. But the company billed $871,000 for that one client every year. For a fact, saw it. I know that was happening. Lots of money in it. Lots of money in this stuff. They drove that guy into suicide. And people, activists for that were saying, yeah, that's got to change. They also talk about the egregious levels of homelessness. If you look at homelessness is a problem, but overwhelmingly, the homeless are men. And there's a huge problem in that. They were saying there's something wrong here societally, and that's got to change, you know? And again, the people who use that as a dirty word, well, they tell you a little bit about themselves. The people who have co-opted the label feminist, honestly, that's a problem too. You know, if you're talking about needs for women, there are plenty of needs that women have out there. They have their own individual needs. They have overlapping needs too. Yeah, you need people that can go out there. But of course, people like this, they just co-opt those labels. They throw them around and they shame women for not walking lockstep. That is not equality. That is empowerment of self. That's the problem. When movements become about the empowerment of self and not about equality, there's where your issue resides. And I thought this was a good call out there. Also, talking about, okay, so the accuser there, I forgot to bring this up. So the accuser that we were discussing, the one for Jonah Hill, they actually had, so check this out. They've had plenty of accusations. Here, the ex-husband of theirs, they accused them of preying on a minor, grooming, assault, manipulation, into marrying. The couple married when she was 20, he was 33. She claims in court documents that she first contacted him when she was 16. Don't know if that's true or not. Again, I've never looked into this at all, but this played out very publicly. And it's crazy when you look at this stuff. Again, Zoe 101 actress, I'm going to say, I almost said it. I don't want this thing going off again. Suing her ex-husband, which I believe that was dismissed, by the way, for allegedly predatory behavior. Saying first minor, then assault. She's 29, 42, said he groomed her, assaulted, manipulated into marrying, in disturbing new court document obtained by TMZ. They were married in 2012. What year was this, by the way? This was 2021. Interesting. This is from 2020, the same time the other accusations. The suit is directed at a Libertine musician who preyed on the innocence of a minor fan to manipulate and coerce her into succumbing to his repeated assaults of her. She alleges that he, who is part of the band, I guess, I don't know, and is 13 years older, utilized his power and engaged in years of grooming. The manipulation culminated in a marriage. She claims that he first reached out to her when she was 16, messaging on MySpace during the filming of the TV movie Children of the Corn. When she didn't, while she didn't expect a reply, he responded almost immediately, and they started conversing. There's their marriage photograph. So again, this is... There have been so many accusations that have come up with that. And apparently the back and forth, apparently he sued for, let me find. He sued for the accusations against him. I'm looking for a good Lord. So he sued the attorney over this too. He says it was an extortion plot. They say all of those that just started, but you can say Legal News 2020. He sues ex-wife's attorney over frivolous abuse case. He says it was a frivolous extortion plot. So a year after former Nickelodeon star sued her husband over allegations, he is now suing the attorneys for allegedly filing a frivolous lawsuit that they knew contained false allegations. She filed her lawsuit last summer claiming the Canadian electronic musician preyed on the innocence of a minor fan by grooming her and then abusing her, but she voluntarily dropped the case this May. She says she's planning to refile, but has not done so yet. Now, he decided to strike back, as they say, against the attorneys who filed that case, suing them for so-called malicious prosecution. And again, I have not reviewed that case, so I'm not making a comment on that case. I'm just showing, like, again, when I look at people and there are a million claims, you again, like somebody else said, you accept that everybody in Hollywood is an absolute monster. You accept that this person has had the worst run of luck ever as a child star. That's possibly true. Or maybe when you look at that, there is power in accusation. Again, like, whoa, what goes on? And you cannot, the problem also when you get into court filings, when relationships fall apart. And that's really where the Jonah Hill stuff takes a pretty nasty turn. When you have relationships, they destroy, man, people are just like, it's amazing how everything can become a bludgeon or a weapon, because people, like, how to hurt them. It's not just, what's important to them. Their weaknesses. The people that care about you and you let your guard down, you talk to. I mean, that's the worst stuff ever. And it always gets ugly. It gets ugly on both sides. Well, not always. I should take that back. Oftentimes can get ugly. Let's just say. Oftentimes can get ugly. That's the best way. Because it doesn't always. Some people, they can divide, do their thing. Step, thanks for the 3 here. A hero, thank you. Appreciate that. Now, his statement on this, he said that the lawyers have no respect for the law or the truth. In an effort to extort money, garner fame, and drum up doing business, defendants filed a frivolous lawsuit against him that lacked any legal basis or factual support. Defendant filed it because they thought they could use the publicity to extort a settlement from them. When it didn't work, they dismissed the lawsuit, but the dismissal came too late. The damage was done. Now, that is damaging, by the way. Like accusations like that, they're considered gospel these days, and they are indeed damaging. They are very damaging. Bad vibes. What's up, man? Thanks for the 34 months. True or not, Hollywood does have a huge problem. Yes. They've lowered minor labor laws. Honestly, Hollywood is the single largest trafficking organization. Yeah, that's true. As a system, there is a problem in there, for sure. There is. All of these industries. Well, it's kind of like, and they do sell sexualization. When you look at a lot of the, like, pop stars from days gone by, you look at people like we were talking about Britney Spears earlier, for example. I mean, when you look at how that industry utilized, they were selling on sexualization. Didn't matter about age. Doesn't matter at all to them. So, yeah, as an industry, I think our distrust, see, some people, it's just like our want to help victims and our want to make sure that this stuff goes away. It can be manipulated. But Hollywood, yes, we have most people have a distrust of Hollywood. I would say they know what Hollywood does. They know Hollywood breaks people. 100% know that. On top of that, you have, again, you know that a lot of people that are in positions of power, they manipulate or they use it to protect themselves. I mean, you look, we find out a lot of skeletons in the closets, as it were, too. Look at all the stuff that happened with Danny Masterson, for example. I mean, that was absolutely crazy. When you think about, the star of that person, then you find out, well, it wasn't just Hollywood protecting. They may have shut some stories up, but as also, the groups that they belong to. So yes, there are definitely problems. Fallen Hero, thanks for the gifted membership, by the way. Sure, but I love movies. Well, yeah, I mean, people do love. I don't think liking movies is a rubber stamp for the Hollywood institution either, for sure. So, say the lawsuit caused him well over $10 million in actual damages. In a statement to Billboard, his managing partner said that the case was completely baseless, thrown out of court in short order. I mean, it's like I said, it's just, it's nuts when you go in the back and forth. And then when you look at celebrity, but that's what the Jonah Hill stuff became. We went from texts with an X to accusations of inappropriate kissing, to accusations levied about, let me say, inappropriate kissing of a minor. That there are many levels to that. To inappropriate forceful kissing. I think I need to add that too. To accusations thrown out against multiple people. It's crazy how this stuff snowballs, and it always does. Every single accusation. Anybody, I would challenge people to name me a star that has been accused. That once they're accused, there aren't multiple accusers that pop up. And you could say, well, I know people would immediately be like, well, JD, okay, well, look at the people that surrounded someone to put their story together. They were actually multiple accusers of the same story, but they still, I would say, were multiple accusers. All a bunch of asshole liars, but still multiple accusers. Every one of these things. And a lot of people, when they see multiple accusations, that also makes people think that's true. And that doesn't mean anything. It should be, it's not quantity. It's just like anything else. It's not quantity. It should be, provability, quality of. And unfortunately, again, it's such a weird place to be. Like I said, it's such a weird place because the type of accusations that you're running into, you can't prove. You can't prove these things. You can't disprove them either. Bad vibes. Thanks for the 10. My point is Hollywood enables delinquency. Yeah, it's true. Contributing to delinquency until the Fed steps in and starts shaking things up. Me Too will win and real victims lose. Yeah, that's really at the end of the day. I think that's actually the best part of a talking point is real victims find themselves repeatedly being disbelieved and attacked by the very people that are supposed to be their advocates, I would say too. What drives me nuts is when you see women say, well, I see this stuff and there's something wrong in this situation. They say, well, I'd just like to know, before I throw someone under the bus and destroy them, because I know what happened to me and I want to, and if you find out someone's an abuser, man, I'm all about going fucking full bore on them. I mean, I don't think I camouflage that at all. I don't give a rat's ass about the actual monsters out there. I just want to make sure that they're actual monsters. Or as a caveat, I also have a particular contempt for the people who set up a system that allows false accusation to fester. I have contempt for them too. If people back the idea of any accusation, even if they knowingly they back false accusation, they don't, until it comes around to them. I don't personally have. I have an utter contempt for them too, because they've built this system. They've made this thing. They've helped make it. They take the power dynamic and they use that against real victims, and they create victims in the process. I have a contempt for them too. What's up, AJ Stone? How are you doing, my friend? Thank you for the 10 gifted memberships too. I saw those falling in. I was like, "Ooh, good times." Thank you, AJ. Appreciate you. Psychological projectors, it's a gravy train. Yeah, I mean, the problem is that it does all accusations in Hollywood, or accusations in any of this stuff, they always get attention. They always do. Like by its own, like its very nature, people are looking at a car crash. They stop to look at it. And the media is going to pick it up. They always do. And you always wonder what's going to come next. I'm wondering, if we're going to see anything from Jonah Hill, like actually, saying anything about it. You had statements. So from Sarah Brady, not from the person who leaked text. She said, "Well, there's other stuff, but I'm holding them back. I'm holding them back right now." So there's phantom texts that are out there that are quote unquote being held back. I don't particularly understand in this dynamic why there would be anything held back. You know what I mean? I mean, you've already had, and again, one of the thing that really bothers me with the Jonah Hill thing, again, why now? She says, "Oh, well, it's because I want to let the person know who he just had a kid with. I want to let them know who he is." It's been 2 years. They have a baby together just now, and the public shitstorm again right after baby's born. That looks like an attack trying to take away his child. Like that's what it sounds like to me. And I mean that looks vindictive. Like from the outside, when I see that, it looks vindictive. Like if I were to say, well, I've been holding back. I know when that person, again, the statement was, I didn't make this known before because she was pregnant. I didn't want to cause any stress. But right after, well, game on, baby. Again, what's the point? Oh, well, I'm letting this person know what kind of person they're with. I think maybe they know. I'm letting the world know what kind of monster they were. Well, I don't know. And this has been a very controversial topic too. Because unfortunately, what happens with any of this, and this is the nastiest point, I think, is that people will see a pinpoint of similarity in abuse that they've suffered. They will see some kind of boundary that, again, they'll see coercive manipulation. You can't go out of the house just like, whatever, stuff like that. Again, coercive manipulation. And that will make people agree. When context comes up too, I mean, it doesn't, again, it's so manipulative. It cuts right to the fabric of it. So this was so nasty in its attempt that Jonah Hill has a clothing line. It's been out for a while. And one of the, they had a slogan. Let me see what his clothing line slogan was. Give me a minute. Jonah Hill clothing line. There were articles about, oh man, he's actually admitting something terrible in that. So here it is, actually. This is covered by the Mirror. So look at this. And this is freaking messed up too, because it has nothing to do with this. And yet it was looped into it. Okay. So he has merchandise. He sells one that says complete unrelenting control. And they're like, oh my God. That looks horrible. God, that looks terrible. So he has this slogan. Now, it's been around for a while. It's been around for months and months and months. You know, I think they launched, you know, they talked about this slogan for a while before that, but it existed well before any of these accusations. When it came up, it's like, oh man, complete unrelenting control, that has to do with her. And it's like, it doesn't have anything to do with it, but God, everywhere on the internet, it was like, oh man, yeah, this is proof. This is proof. And it doesn't mean anything. It has that everything is used, like it's some kind of proof, you know? Yet, oh, look at this clothing line. Okay, well, it existed before that. How does that work in? Bad vibes. Thanks for the 10. My opinion is Hollywood is using Me Too the same way they use McCarthyism. Look at Kevin Smith and Founder Circle. Glad those both political and judicial power. Yeah, and that's true too. You know, there's and one of the nastier things that happened in there too is it's not just power, but okay, look at Time's Up. We've talked about Time's Up extensively, right? Time's Up, most people, when Time's Up came out, it was advertised as an extension into Hollywood of Me Too. People thought that was the Hollywood version of Me Too. They didn't understand that Time's Up was a corporation that was paying 3 people, 38% of the money that it was drawing in. They were paying them large salaries. That included the founders of it. They didn't realize, like, you know, yeah, you had 70 freaking Hollywood starlets that were sitting on the board of that. But at the end of the day, the money that was raking in, just a tiny sliver of it was actually going to the stated purpose, while most of the money was going into the pockets of the people that ran it. But people have no idea. They have no idea about the power. They don't recognize it. You know, and again, it's insidious, because Me Too is supposed to be about people saying, yes, that happened to me too. It was supposed to be about support. And it became about power. It became, true power, like political power. You said judicial power. It became about unquestionable power too. Questioning any narrative that comes up, that is an automatic way to end up being damaged in this day and age. Like just saying, man, you know, or even talking about it without just fully embracing it. Like people have their lives destroyed just because they say, well, they'll take, you know, people will take aims at your job. They'll go after your families, kids. I mean, it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts, because it questions the authority. Because some people have truly built. I mean, again, we were talking about people like Tin Barch, for example. What have they built their power on? What have they built their career on? They've built it on unflinchingly pointing the finger at the accused, primarily men. They'll find a female every now and then. Every now and then, but primarily, and they if they're confronted with the idea of false accusations, here's a spin too that you see. So I was talking about court cases where men were exonerated. You know, DNA evidence, they exonerate them, and the reply from so many of these folks is, well, that's the system failing. If people they help put the wrong person in jail, oh, well, that was the system's failure. Now, they don't know anything about the case. They don't know. There have been people that just made up shit and destroyed people's lives, just made it up. Some of them, again, the ways they've done that is pretty nasty, but it doesn't matter. It's the system. And there is a problem in the system. I do agree. But some of that problem is from people that falsely accuse. Now, I'm not saying like there isn't a circumstance where somebody that's been through a particularly traumatic event, they're not going to misidentify. I mean, that can happen. But man, I mean, people losing decades of their lives. Again, primarily, what these folks really don't like, they don't like the idea. When you bring that up, you bring up the idea that you're talking about as far as incarceration. This is a racist institution. It primarily incarcerates young black men. They don't like that. They do not like that at all. I like the truth that gets a little close to home. Bad vibes. What's up? Thanks for two. Weld, not weird. Yeah, I was wondering what that. I was like, well, yeah, I knew what you were saying there. They wield a lot of power. They do. Yeah. And let's see. Cass, thanks for the 7 months. Bella, much love and good vibes to you for your surgery. Yes. You have a surgery Friday. Yes. Thoughts. Good vibes to you. Hope everything goes well. Glad that you're there. Tug, Mon, chat. Appreciate you. I appreciate all you folks too. I mean, it is. It's good we can come together and we can talk about these things too. And we can, again, we may disagree on it fully, but that's part of this thing that needs to happen as well. Like that's another problem in this. This becomes not where you can talk about, well, there have been instances of blah, blah, blah. No, you can't bring that up because it becomes, well, you're an enabler of. People are like, well, that's happened to me. I'm not an enabler of, oh, yeah, you are. It's like, oh, my God. I've seen some horrible things thrown at people that have been through horrific instances just because they question that. And again, you may have a different outlook. You may look at stuff and you may disagree. That's okay. I don't care. You don't have to agree with me on anything. Bad vibes. Thanks for additional 20 there. Netflix is part of Founder Circle. Just glad it started. Think about the irony of that. Geez, of what is pointed at Jonah. They have done nothing to fight the boomer argument of slippery slope. Fight for LGBT marriage. I mean, some of the stuff, like the corporation, when you get down to corporations and the backing of them and messaging like that gets into some crazy discussions. One of the things with many companies out there, you find that many of them, they have aims at sculpting things for political and social power, or political and social. That there's that gets back into the discussions about how companies like Warner, when you look at them, for example, you look, they don't just have reports on the money they make. They go in and they talk about, their social changes, their principle, and that's part of their profit reports because it's brought up. Hey, what are you doing down here?
I wanted to sit with you.
You want to sit with me?
I got my new diaper.
Oh man, you got a new diaper. That's awesome. What's up, Lost Waters, by the way?
I
Wait,
want to sit down.
You can sit down with me. I'm going to read a couple of super chats. You want to sit down with me while I'm reading them? Come here. Oh, my goodness.
Hi.
Hey, hi, everybody. What is so?
When my mom comes
The
back.
official Tuggies.
My mom comes back.
Yep. Have trounced Johnny Depp MTV animation to first place on YouTube. Who knew you and Ray singing was that popular? That's hilarious.
That's funny, Dad.
Oh man, and John, you're talking about, yeah. You recently saw a vid where they defended Kitty, saying it was a misunderstanding. I saw a bunch of that. Look at those hearts. Are they pretty?
Yeah, there's more yellow hearts.
Can you say hi, Fallen Hero? He said, how's it going?
Hi.
She's waving at the chat, by the way. Can't see her.
My mom is coming back.
Yeah. Bad vibes. That's true. Yet mainstream media is silent on sounds of freedom. That's true.
My mom comes back.
Hey, did you eat your yogurt? Hey, there goes cornbread, man. Can you say hi, cornbread?
Hi, cornbread.
Look, oh, there's $2
Go
for candy.
down.
Look at those laughing faces. That's cute, huh? Look at all the hearts.
Aw,
Are they very pretty?
I want to see my mom.
What kind of pretty?
Mom.
Yeah. Did you eat your yogurt? Hey, did you eat your yogurt?
Which one? There's
Is that a no? You didn't spill your yogurt, did you?
two.
Huh?
No.
No. Okay. What show have you been watching? What were you watching on your TV?
I'm watching Paw Patrol and the Whirlwind. I
Paw
have
Patrol.
YouTube, and I watch YouTube with Paw Patrol on it.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah.
Have you been watching that on Sissy's TV?
No, my TV's great.
Oh, your TV's great.
Yeah,
I
I got
think
my
you're watching-
own remote. I cut it on by myself.
You cut on your own moat by yourself.
It's my TV. I didn't watch it.
Oh man! Hey, look, mashed potato goblin. Can you say thank you?
Thank you.
They gave you $10. Said hi.
There's a lollipop.
Yeah, they said, yeah, it's a lollipop, and it say, ooh, here's some money towards your $1 million candy fund.
I want that money.
Yeah, you want that money? I do too. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's candy
That's
fund.
a big one. Where's the small ones?
You like that?
Where's the small ones? Where's the little pretty small ones?
I have no idea what you're talking
Where's the
about.
hearts? Where's the bitty small ones?
I have no
Those
idea.
hearts.
There's
those-
hearts.
No, the bitty thing.
Oh, you mean those little, like that one?
yeah.
They're somewhere over on the other side of the room. She's talking about like sand sculptures. So you've been watching Paw Patrol, you say?
Yeah.
And you got your own moat?
Mhm.
Did you tell the people that you got you a tablet? You got she calls it an iPad. You tell them you got an iPad? Yeah. She got her a Kindle Fire with the kids apps on it. You know, some of them, they have some good learning apps here and there.
I want this one.
Okay, you leaving?
Of course.
All right, here. Give me him arm. Thank you. Oh, well, hey, can you say, ooh, there's Jen. Can you say, thank you, Jen? Yeah, she waved to you. She said, thank you. They love Paw Patrol.
Yep.
They love it. They love it too. Now she's gone. She ran off on me. Oh, Nancy, she just ran off. Sorry. Who's your favorite from Paw Patrol? She likes Marshall.
Sorry, Dad.
She likes Marshall. She likes Sky too. So she has three. She has like she'll lay with them at night, but she has a big Chase, Marshall, and then she has the little puppy Sky. It has a flashlight. It's a little like a nighttime buddy, so she has to get up and go to the potty or something. She can push the little flashlight and see her way, and then when she lets go, it goes off, so it doesn't run out all its juice. You know, it keeps running. I kind of like that. I like that design to it. But yeah, I mean, she loves. I hear Chase is on the case. I hear that all the time. You know, they're cute though. She tumbles down the stairs. Actually, what she does, it's funny. So she can get up the steps. You know, it's pretty easy to get, especially as you're small. You can like almost spider climb up the steps, but she'll drag her butt down the stairs. You know, so she doesn't fall. Like, it's pretty funny. Bad vibes. Thanks for the 5. Let's hope society at large fixes things so Bug and Lug don't have to. Well, that's the thing. You know, a lot of these fights really are to give a better, you know, these discussions that we have are about this cult. It's not just a culture. It's an always plugged in, always online. It's an immediate access culture. It used to be the Wild West. It used to be everything was open, and I kind of liked that in a way. It had its own problems. It had its own fringe areas. You know, there were places like Live Links where you could watch the most horrific stuff. Although I would dare to venture, you see a lot of that stuff now, pretty horrible stuff on Twitter. I'm not saying it shouldn't be there. I think sometimes people need to see some horrific things and be reminded that the world is not a, like the mainstream. I always hate seeing articles where for a while, like school shootings, for example, they become such this idea where kids they think they're video games almost. Like, oh, I got to get a high score. And when you show pictures of victims, again, I'm not saying like horrible things that are happening to them in the moment, but when you show that it's not this neat little thing, when they're when a shooter, like that Covenant school shooting, when you had the police respond and they went in and they took out the school shooter, and it looked horrible. It looked horrific. It was a stark reminder that this is not a video game. This is real life. And when you see faces of victims there, that they too they had the same kind of horrible thing happen to them. And it's just I don't know. I think things are. I think things are more broken than we know nowadays. In the past, you had people that would influence and stuff, but now we have folks that go online that are paid by political parties. Like we see them on Twitter. It's really bad. You have financial statements that say that person right there is a talking head. They are. And many of the people that were exposed in the last 6 months as paid political pundits, it's insane, sculpting that. And again, we found out in the past with Twitter, what they were doing behind the scenes, how they were sculpting things. Again, that world, you want one where, again, justice is real, like narratives. They aren't paid shill narratives. I mean, I've been looking at so there was a big hit piece that came out on Depp recently. We'll talk about this in the next maybe 2 days. But there was a giant hit piece that came out at him, and it talked about, basically, it made the accusation that his $650 million that went kaput, it was spent on litigation and reckless spending. And it was the way it's written, it makes it look like it's saying he spent $650 million on litigation, which is an absolute insane claim. I mean, we're talking probably $20 million. That's probably what was there. Not chump change, but we're not talking about over $500 million. I mean, that's a ridiculous notion. But when you looked at the fine print on it, you know who they were contacting there? They're trying to contact JD's lawyers. And the other place they were making contact with, they're making contact with O'Shane, the PR people that still work for Amber Heard. They still work there. Her contact goes through her PR folks. So they are still working for her. They are still spinning things, tried and true. You have, again, JD, they try to contact lawyers. Her, they contact a PR team. It's probably the biggest, that's probably one of the biggest. And also, oh my God. So I've been looking into something. I have a fucking bombshell for you. A big one, but I have to put it together correctly. It's about that. It's about that convention, or I'm sorry, that festival she's part of. I mean, there is some jacked up stuff. It goes way down the rabbit hole. I mean, it'll be something. I started putting it together, but again, it's got to be right, because it's the good stuff. Oh, there's some craziness. And on top of that, again, there's one other thing too. The insurance company fights, that stuff's been going on for a while now. We've hit a 1-year anniversary on it. And you've actually had some discussion, including Court TV. They actually put out an article on that as well. Now, I put out a video on that today because I wanted to bring up the fact that people like Laura B, they've done a very good job of remedying the narratives that are put out there, adding in, it's weird to even see the mainstream media talk about it. And you do see media that is attached, even talking about it, period, in the middle of this PR blitz. But when Laura B, like, again, she added to, she was like, well, actually, there's a lot more to this. And people like DUI Guy have done some pretty damn good digging on that too. Man, every time I freaking open my messenger, it goes weird on me. Give me 1 second. What's up, Salem's mom? Thanks for 2. Pickle plant is on its way for your cactus garden. Oh, that'll be awesome. Thank you. Again, if you want to take part in the little cactus garden thing, I think it's cool. Again, just a physical representation of so many people out there. Like, even if you live in Texas and you have some just basic freaking cactuses out there, send one over. That'll be cool. I think that'll be, I'll put it out there, label the thing up, we'll give it a name. It'll be fun. But that's cool. Thank you. And crap. Bad vibes. Thanks for the 5 there too. They don't let facts get in the way of agenda, and many powerful agencies and organizations fight to hide facts. Boozy is a microcosm of that. Yes, it's not just useful idiots. We used to use that word a lot. Useful idiot. This person is that's all they are. They're misled by it. Oh no, there are people that actually sculpt the discussion dynamic. They're more than. Are they idiots? Yes. Are they useful idiots? To a point, yes. But they're much worse than that. Bad vibes. Thanks for 2. Prickly pickle you, indeed. All right. Well, I'm gonna call it a day here. I think we've covered some. Like I said, I thought that was fascinating discussion, and I thought it was. Again, I thought it was interesting that somebody, when you look at people that back just accusation culture, I always wonder about them. Folks that, again, there are going to be people that have been through harrowing things and they back the idea of accusation because it preys upon what happened to them. So, that's going to happen. But at the same time, there are people that live in the accusation realm. They throw that stuff around because, well, they have something to gain from it. So again, I don't know. I thought this was I think this is a discussion that's going to keep developing over time. We're going to see more of it. But anyway, I'm going to end here. I appreciate all you folks too. This has been a good one. And well, like I said, I got a big one for you. I just got to set it all up. So anyway, thanks.